So after dragging my heels for almost a year on this, I'm finally setting up one of my books with a KDP hardcover case laminate format. I'm finally doing it. And of course, by the time I record this, they're going to change how the menu looks, but all the information still applies. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm MK Williams. I'm an author and independent publisher. I love sharing my insights about all things self-publishing with you. Before I get into the details of this video, don't forget to hit subscribe. That way you can be here every week as I release new videos about self-publishing, making a career to being an author, and now being a mompreneur. So today I'm adding a case laminate hardcover for both Nailbiters and Architects, the two books in my apocalyptic science fiction series. Yes, book number 3 is in the pipeline. I'm working on it. Okay. It'll take some time. So when I originally released Nailbiters as my first novel, I only had it as an ebook, and I added the paperback and audiobook a few years ago. When I released Architects, I did so with an ebook and paperback. At the time, I could have done a hardcover via IngramSpark, but I really liked the look of a jacketed hardcover, and I didn't think that I had the skills to make that happen for either book. But then KDP announced their hardcover beta, which was like the worst kept secret in self-publishing, and then they fully rolled it out in the US, and I didn't do much with it. So most of my catalog does not have a hardcover option. So in terms of backlist maintenance, it was really beyond time for me to get to work with this. So I decided to use the KDP case laminate option to get this up and out to the people, and I'm going to show you how to do it today. Now for KDP, you only have 5 trim size options for your case laminate hardcover. So if you're planning to use the same interior file for your paperback and your hardcover, which is less expensive and time consuming when you only have one size for both, then I suggest that you keep it within this range. For my Author Your Ambition series, they are in a size that doesn't have the hardcover option on KDP or IngramSpark. So yeah, we'll see if that happens. So here are the 5 available trim sizes for KDP hardcover case laminate books as of the time of this recording. So it's a 5.5 by 8.5 inch, 6 inch by 9 inch, 6.14 inches by 9.21 inches, 7 inches by 10 inches, or 8.5 inches by 11 inches. So before we get started, these are the following items you are going to need to have with you and ready to go if you want to follow along and do your upload alongside with me on one screen, you have yours on the other. So you're going to need your formatted interior file in a print-ready PDF, a case laminate book cover in PDF, your ISBN, your book description, your categories and keywords, and your prices. All right, let's jump in. And I want to give a quick disclaimer here. There's a chance the audio for my screen capture might sound really, really bad. And I'm really sorry if it does. I'm going to do my best to denoise it and make it sound clear, but I apologize. You can still follow along even with the sound off and you'll see what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. Okay, so today we are going to be adding a hardcover on KDP Kindle Direct Publishing. Now, the hardcover beta rolled out last year, and then it rolled out fully to, it still even says beta here, it's rolled out fully in the US at the time of this recording, and I believe they're going to be rolling it out internationally soon, hopefully. But if you would like to add multiple formats, obviously KDP started with just a Kindle with ebooks. They've added the paperback version. They now have the hardcover version. And for my books, I've been getting hardcovers out for the Feminina series through IngramSpark, but I've not really gone back through my backlist and added hardcovers throughout. And this is part of my backlist maintenance, right? So I have to make sure my books are up to date. So I'm going to be adding hardcovers today for the Project Collusion series. So that's Nailbiters and Architects. Now I could go ahead and click here on hardcover, right? And I could just create a new title. But because I already have the existing books in my catalog, I'm going to be going down to the actual book title and adding the hardcover from there. Now, for your purposes, if this is a brand new book, you don't have any formats uploaded, you could start with the hardcover, no problem. If you already have the ebook or the paperback version on KDP, I highly recommend scrolling down to the actual book and adding the hardcover from there, which I'm going to show you how to do here. Would be create hardcover. And that's so when you go in, you'll see that there's going to be information that's pre-filled for me, and that's going to save me time. And it's going to make it so I don't have errors across things. I'm not missing anything. It's already going to be linked. I don't have to then go ask Amazon, hey, can you link these books? They're already going to be linked, which is helpful now if you're watching this and you're like, crap, I've already started separately and I'm confused, when you're done, you can link an existing hardcover. So you do have that option to link them later. But if I know it's going to be part of this existing ebook paperback combo, I want the hardcover to show up, I'm going to go here and I'm going to click create hardcover. Okay, so this is the first step, is click create. Okay. Now, the first thing that's really nice to know, it's pre-populated. This book is in English. The title is Nailbiters. So it's starting to already pre-populate things for me that I don't have to fill in. Obviously, if it was not, I would fill in the title, Nailbiters. What's really nice is that because I'm just adding it to the existing ebook and paperback option, it's already saved my title. I don't have to go back and redo that. It knows the position. I don't have to redo that. So it's really already starting to save me some time, which I really like. Oh my gosh, would you look at that? My description's already there, which is really nice. And this is one of the original descriptions that I did. So I actually need to go back. And that's, again, part of backlist maintenance, is go back and rework the descriptions for both Nailbiters and Architects, and update them. I'm not going to do that right now because I haven't written that out. I haven't done keyword insertion into that. I haven't done editing for it. So I'm going to now actually add that to my to-do list for the next couple months. And we'll get that done. But today I'm just focused on getting my hardcover uploaded. Okay, yeah, I could probably update all of those keywords too. So, all right. More to do. There's always more to do. Okay. But the nice thing is I don't have to go in and do this. Now, if you are going in and doing this for the first time, you're going to add your book title. So I've gone up to the top. You're going to add your book title. You're going to assign any series if that's the case. You're going to add your name, your author name, your pen name here. If you have contributors, you need to add that. You need to add your description. You need to assert. Now, in my case, I own the copyright. I'm the author. This is not a public domain work. So again, because I'm just adding it on from the ebook and the paperback, I don't have to click any of this. It makes it so much easier for me. Keywords, same thing. Categories are already filled for me. That's awesome. If I wanted to change them, I would just click here, choose categories, this button right here, choose categories, and I could change those. But I like those categories. They are the correct categories. So I'm going to hit save and continue. So just by adding hardcover onto the existing books, it saved me a lot of time on that first page. Save and continue. Great. All right. Now, the first thing is they want you to use their free ISBN. No, thank you. I have my own ISBN. I own full control of my books in every which way. So I'm going to be adding my ISBN. So I've input my ISBN and my imprint. Now this imprint comes from Valker, where I've registered my ISBN. I have a full video on how you can check this information, which I'll link up top right here, so you can check that out. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to leave this blank, right? This is the first time I'm publishing a hardcover version of this book. So whenever Amazon approves it is the date it's going to be published. I always do black and white on cream. It is a 6x9 interior. Now, one thing I will have mentioned earlier in the video, I haven't recorded it yet at this time, there are only so many trim sizes here. So if I were to even click select different trim sizes, it's only showing me 5 total options. So my print interior is formatted for 6x9 inches, which is why I can do this for my print interiors that are smaller than even the 5x5 by 8.5. That's why I don't have hardcovers for them yet. I'm going to go back and try and figure that out. Okay. All right, now I have to upload the manuscript. So yeah, that was something that did not carry over. There was no assumption that this is just the same. So I'm going to go click through to find my manuscript now. Okay, now in this case, I am uploading a cover that I have created. I'm not going to use their cover creator. I find that it's not what I would usually like. And I already have a set cover for both the print and the ebook, and I want the hardcover to match, at least for the front. So I've already created this in a PDF. Now in the notes below, I'm going to have a link to the hardcover template generator. I highly suggest that you go there if you're using the hardcover for KDP. You put in your page number, you put in the dimensions you want, and it will give you the exact template and the exact dimensions for what you need. I highly recommend using that. Don't just try to wing it without it. Okay, Now, my cover does not include a preset barcode on it. In this case, I'm going to let Amazon do their distribution. They can put their own barcode on it. I don't need to bring a barcode. I, again, also did a separate video all on determining if you need to bring your own barcode. If you do bring your own barcode, you need to check this box. If you don't bring your own barcode, don't worry about it. And I will link to that video above so you can check that out, okay? All right, so we're going to launch the previewer. So we're going to take a look at what this looks like before we proceed to the next page. Okay, so now that the preview has rendered, I'm going to go through and I'm literally going to click through every page to make sure it looks correct. Now, this is the same interior that I used previously. I checked it previously, but I'm still going to go through and make sure it all looks the way I want it to. So I am going to fast forward through me just clicking a million times to the next page. But I'm going to be looking at every page, and then when I'm done, I'm at the bottom right corner where it says approve. I'm going to click approve, okay? Okay, so I've gotten to the very last page. I like how it all looks. So I'm going to click this bright yellow button in the lower right-hand corner that says approve because I am approving this. Okay, so it's taking me back to the top of this page where I've uploaded everything. Okay, everything's approved. So now it's actually going to show me my summary, right? So summarizing all the details from above as far as the dimensions, the page count, everything like that. It's also going to show me my printing cost. Now it's going to primarily show me my printing cost on Amazon.com, but it's also going to show me all of the other avenues that Amazon will print it on. They're different domains. That's what it was, domains. Okay, so obviously $8.31 to print the book. So I can't charge the same thing as I would for the paperback because I would make next to nothing. So now we're actually going to go on to pricing where that's going to play a factor. So that $8.31 is important to keep in mind. So we're going to save and continue. Okay, so now we're at hardcover rights and pricing. Now here's where I will say, yes, I have the rights. I hold the distribution rights in all territories worldwide. Now you might think, okay, I'm self-publishing. Like I said that I was the owner of these rights. Why are they asking me this again? Authors are able to, especially self-publishing authors, I should say, are able to determine who has the rights to distribute their books. Now, if I, for some reason, if somebody was very interested in the rights to Nailbiters and they wanted to option it in French and Spanish and Portuguese and like in any other language around the world, that contract they would probably also say, hey, and then in Spanish-speaking countries, you don't have the rights to sell the book in any language because we have the rights to sell it in this language. So that's where I would select individual territories. In this case, nobody has asked to option my book into a different language yet. Weird. If you're interested, let me know. But that's where I would select that. So don't just always think automatic yes, like all territories. If you have any translation deals, if you've worked with a co-agent on any translation deals, this is where you need to switch over to select which ones you still have the rights to distribute it, okay? All right, primary location where I expect the majority of my book sales to come from is Amazon.com. I do get a fair amount of international book sales, but they primarily come from either IngramSpark or from Google Play. My Amazon sales still skew heavily US, although I have been seeing more international sales from Amazon, which is nice, but it's by far definitely not the majority, so I am not going to worry about that. Okay, now for this case laminate, now it's not a jacketed case laminate, it's just case laminate. So I want to differentiate between that and the price for the hardcovers for my other books that are jacketed case laminate. So I'm going to go with $21.99. Okay. And so that means I still make a fair royalty on this. Now it has auto applied this all the way down. I've done some research on my pricing and I'm going to be able to go ahead and update that. I'm actually going to do another video just on pricing updates. So I'm actually going to leave this set for the auto update and I'll show you in another video where you can actually go and edit your pricing after you publish the book. Okay. All right, so I'm good with that. So terms and conditions can take up to 72 hours for your book to be available for purchase. All right, and I want you to remember that just because you're hitting publish right now, an actual person at Amazon is going to look through this and review it. They're going to make sure it meets their terms and conditions. Now, they're not going to pass judgment on whether it's a good book or not. Everybody has personal preferences, but they're going to make sure that it is legitimate, that it looks good, that customers who receive this would not be appalled and upset. So it's going to go into review. So I'm going to go ahead and click publish your hardcover book. Okay, great. Now they're going to review it. Done. Okay, and now this one pops up top. Now I'm actually going to go back and do the same thing for Architects, which is the second book in the series. So I'll go through and do that now. I won't narrate as much, so we'll see how quickly I can get this done without narrating. All right, folks, that's how it's done. What other questions do you have about uploading your book to Amazon KDP or optimizing your book listings? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe. That lets YouTube know that you found this information helpful, and then it can get it in front of other authors like us. Now you can get back to writing your book. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And before you head off to watch another video on YouTube, whether it's mine or another channel, or you decide you are going to go back to writing your book, I wanted to let you know how I actually figured out all of this stuff about self-publishing. And that's because I write books, and not just about writing books and self-publishing. I actually write fiction, and I don't talk about my books directly too often. It's usually indirect uploads and updates and things like that. But I wanted to let you know that if you are interested in science fiction or literary suspense or domestic thrillers, I may actually have a book for you to read and check out. So if you like science fiction that is post-apocalyptic techno thrillers, then the Project Collusion series might be for you. So start with Nailbiters and then check out Architects. If you more are into the light science fiction, time travel, multiverse, alternate reality type fiction, then you might be into the Infinite and the Alpha Nina in the Feminina series. If you like domestic thrillers, some tension between neighbors, there's a whodunit, there's a big explosion, there's a little bit of class dynamics as well, then you're probably going to like Enemies of Peace. Or if you're a fan of literary short stories, then check out my collection, The Games You Cannot Win. It has 4 stories in there, and actually, the final story in that collection was Escaping Avila Chase, and most of my reviewers said that that was the best one of the pack, and I kind of felt that way too as an author, so I released it as a standalone novella that you can check out as well. So if you are looking for a good book to read and any of those sounded interesting to you, go ahead and check them out. You can get them anywhere you find great books or at your library, and if none of those are your genre, that's totally fine. You'll find something else to read. Talk soon. Bye.